Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, if you're looking for a new morning or afternoon jolt, look no further than Kiwani's Country Morning Coffee. We'll get the story behind this family's humble beginnings and how this business has grown.
What do you get when you mix vintage vinyl, quirky collectibles, and 9 hidden kitchen sinks? The answer is Kitchen Sink Antiques. We'll take a look at what's inside this one-of-a-kind shop.
And later, if you think gluten-free means flavor-free, well, you're going to want to think again. We're talking to the woman behind Mixed Gluten-Free Baking to see how she's turning classic treats into gluten-free favorites. Hello and welcome to Quad Cities Live. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Kyle Keel.
I'm Morgan Otier. Whitey's Ice Cream is known for its rich history, unforgettable flavors, of course, and loyal following. The business has been serving up sweet treats since 1933.
Yeah, joining us now is Annika Thunberg, Vice President of Whitey's Ice Cream. And yes, she did indeed bring some ice cream.
Of course. I know better than to not bring ice cream.
Spoon clap.
Yes, spoon clap. We got our spoons ready, so we're going to talk about some of the flavors coming up. But as Morgan mentioned, rich history here in the Quad Cities. I mean, more than 90 years now. This is a classic in the Quad Cities. So talk about the humble beginnings of Whitey's as well.
Happy to. Yes. So Whitey's has been around since 1933. So it was started by a man named Chester Lindgren, but he had white blonde hair and didn't love the name Chester. So he always went by Whitey. And so when Whitey was laid off during the Great Depression, he moved back to the Quad Cities and decided to open up an ice cream store. It was a kind of corner store, sold everything, but we also made ice cream, and luckily that's the thing we stuck with because I think we do that okay.
I think so.
So we've been around for, 92 years this year, and so we've gone from one corner store on the corner of 16th Street and Avenue of the Cities in Moline to 8 locations across Iowa and Illinois with lots of drive-thrus, a lot of different flavor options, and still making it like we always have with that old-fashioned quality and taste, and hopefully the customers who've had it for, 92 years potentially feel the same.
I know a guy. I know a 92-year-old that's probably had Whitey's for that many years.
For all those years. That's great, though.
It's, I mean, you don't get much better than Whitey's, that's for sure.
Well, we appreciate that. No, and, we always have something for everybody. There's a million different flavors to try, and, of course, we have seasonal flavors, new flavors all the time, but, you can't forget our treat of the months, too, that come out every month, and there's something new for everybody
what's this month's treat of the month?
This month is special on our S'more Sundays. So it's Graham Central Station ice cream with fudge, marshmallow, and chocolate chips.
A lot of people go for that Graham Central Station, so you got to try the treat of the month.
It's coming around summer. People have bonfires, s'mores. It just makes sense,
Graham Central Station is so good. It's in my freezer right now, alongside Darby's Cotton Candy, which is her favorite.
The classic kids flavor.
Both are top 5 flavors, so you guys are choosing well.
Well, speaking of flavors, you guys just recently launched a new flavor.
We did, and guess what? I brought some for you to try. So we have, for the past few years, we've done a contest around March Madness, and so this year it was New Flavor Madness. So everybody got to narrow down their brackets and land on their favorites. So salted brown butter cookie dough was the winner. So it is a salted brown butter ice cream with kind of a cinnamony brown butter revel and big chunks of cookie dough. So it is
so good.
Definitely a winner. The first time we made it, it ran out in 4 days. So it is back, and hopefully it's around for a little bit.
This is up there for me, for sure.
Is it really?
As a Graham Central Station stan,
this is impressive.
Say, if you like Graham Central Station, I feel like you're going to like this.
Yeah, the chunks
kind of got that
savory, and it's got really big chunks of cookie dough too, which make it even better.
Yeah, and I saw your Facebook post when you were like, okay, we got it back now, and people were just going crazy over it.
I know. I think we're all, it's always fun to see how excited people get about a new flavor or an announcement, but this one blew us out of the water a little bit. People really enjoyed it.
It's going to be hard to not eat this for the rest of the show.
Oh, I know. We got even more that we got to get to as well. So what inspired the different flavors that you put on the March Madness bracket?
It was really fun to come up with. It was hard to come up with 32.
I'm sure.
But then once we started going, it was hard to narrow it down to 32. So maybe there's some new flavors that we haven't even talked about yet, but it was really fun just to kind of come up with different ideas, look at what our vendors have as far as like ingredients that they offer, and kind of go from there and just be creative with it.
That has to be such a fun part of the whole job.
It is
doing that creative stuff like that.
And everybody's always asking if they can be an ice cream taste tester. Unfortunately, it's not an official job, but I know where to find you guys.
I'll volunteer. I'll volunteer.
Don't even pay you. So
oh my gosh.
I also brought our John Deere Classic ice cream, which is obviously out for the John Deere Classic
Yeah.
next week.
I
So
can't
if you've
believe it's
never,
already
I know,
here.
it's been a while.
I know, when it's
So
a
if
week
you
away.
need to cleanse the palate, it's a really refreshing lemon and lime. So
Got it.
it's
Yep, it's
lemon,
good. I won't
lemon
reach over
custard, and lime sherbet together. So of
Okay.
course in John Deere Classic colors.
Yeah.
And it's just a great, refreshing summer treat.
I've never had this one before, but you love this one, don't you?
Yeah, it's a popular one. So and
yeah.
you can of course buy that at our stores, or you can buy that out on the
wow.
at the John Deere Classic next week.
I was going to say, you guys are heavily involved with that as well. Got to keep
We
the
are.
golfers and,
You
and all
know,
the spectators cool.
Exactly. It looks like it might be a hot one too. So
This is
we'll be there.
refreshing.
It's very refreshing, yes.
Yeah.
So lemon custard and lime sherbet. So
Yeah,
Well-
it's like a frozen Sprite.
Yeah, it really
I
is.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have also more exciting things to talk about.
do
A big
have more exciting
congratulations
things.
to your
Thank
whole entire
you.
team opening a new Bettendorf location.
Yeah.
And there's right there is kind of the mock-up of what everything's going to look like. Tell us about it. I mean, this is super cool.
Yeah, we're so excited. So we've been kind of thinking we definitely needed a second Bettendorf location
Yeah.
for a little bit now. And we knew this was kind of the area we wanted to be in, but we were just waiting for the right opportunity
Sure.
to present itself. So
Yeah.
luckily, we've been working with Giefman Group, and they came together with this great new project on the corner of Forest Grove and Devil's Glen. So we're very excited about it. I think hopefully it's a successful and busy
Yeah.
location, but it will
Yeah.
have a drive-through, and we'll be centrally located to be right down about a mile away from the TBK
Yeah.
Sports Complex, and
that's just
we're very
perfect.
excited for it.
Yeah,
to
that area is
open.
always growing.
Yeah.
So I think that's good.
So we'll be groundbreaking this week, and then hopefully it will be open before the end of the year.
That is
Okay,
super
and this
exciting.
one, you were talking about the drive-through. This one will have a drive-through.
It will
as well.
have a drive-through. Don't
Yeah,
you worry.
those drive-through, especially during the winter time, you don't want to get out of your car when it's snowing and it's
Right.
cold. I mean, it works. It's never too cold for ice cream, if you ask me.
We
So,
agree.
those drive-throughs really work.
They really do. I was going to make a joke about that because truly, even in the middle of winter,
Yeah.
there is a line
There-
at the other Bettendorf location in that drive-through constantly.
Yes.
So
It is.
this is a good
Drive-throughs have
spot.
really changed the winter game for us. So.
They really have.
Always innovating. I mean, you're always keeping up with the times, and but you still stand true to 1933.
Yeah,
The
you know,
quality of ice cream.
that's what's most important, is serving a quality ice
Absolutely.
cream in a great environment. So we hope we stay true to that, and hopefully we keep delivering some great flavor.
Yeah, you absolutely will.
You will.
Always good things from Wendy's. Very
Yes,
cool.
most definitely. Seasonal flavors. I mean, what do we have to look forward to this summer, fall?
Well,
I
we
mean, I know
still,
everyone's- and we still have the summer, but I know a lot of people
I'm gonna eat this ice
thinking of.
Yeah.
For me, I
Don't let
love
it
the
melt.
pumpkin.
Yes, pumpkin will be here before we
Yes,
know, which
it
is
will.
crazy to
That
think
is
about.
crazy.
But we do still have our spring and summer flavors out, which include mango raspberry, which is mango ice cream with a raspberry revel, our super blueberry cheesecake, which is blueberry ice cream with a blueberry revel,
That one's good.
and some cheesecake flavoring in there as well. And then we also have lemon custard, which is classic.
Yeah.
And then we also have our key lime pie ice cream, which is key lime ice cream with the graham revel throughout.
yeah.
So can't go wrong
That
with
one is
those
so good.
flavors either.
Yeah,
so.
they're all so good. All refreshing just for the summer months.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm definitely, as you know, looking forward to the pumpkin. It's my favorite.
It's your
My
fave.
favorite Whitey's flavor, the shake
Don't worry,
of
I'm
them
sure
all.
I'll be back with pumpkin
Yeah, we
shakes
can't.
for you
Yeah.
before
Can't
we
wait for that.
know.
We'll look forward to that here in a couple of months.
Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, we've just scratched the surface with the amount of flavors that you have. So if you want a list of Whitey's locations or a look at the menu and all of those flavors, visit whiteysicecream.com. Also, be sure to follow along on social media for updates, Facebook, Instagram. You know the drill.
Yeah.
Monica, as always, thank you
Tough
so
to
much.
put
Thank you guys so
down.
much for having
Tough
me.
for me to put that down. It was enjoyable for me to be here for your interview while I
While you enjoyed
Well,
your
ice
salted
cream.
brown butter cookie day.
Yes,
Happy to help.
Monica, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, thank you
From
all.
a garage in Kewanee to coffee cups across the country, we are sitting down with Country Morning Coffee to hear how this family-run roastery turned a small-town dream into a nationwide brew.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
For more than 20 years, Country Morning Coffee in Kewanee, Illinois has been earning loyal fans both locally as well as across the country.
It all started with a dream in a garage, but has grown into a successful business with a lot of heart. Here to tell us his family's story is August Wolf. August, thank you so much for being here
Yes.
today.
Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely, thank
We are
you.
looking forward to talking with you and drinking this
Yeah,
coffee
got our-
that Jake
got our nice little cup
so
of coffee.
kindly just brewed and poured for
Yes.
us. So while we do that, August, kind of take us back to the beginning. This family business started in a garage.
Yes.
I love this story.
In 2003.
Yes. My
Wow.
parents, they met, my mom met my dad through selling coffee in New York State.
Oh my gosh.
And, they met and then they decided that they wanted to start a business together. and they moved out to Kewanee to do so because there was some family out there. And so they got a coffee roaster. They got a commercial grinder, put that thing in the garage.
Gotta start somewhere,
I
right?
remember digging a trench for the gas line for the roaster in my backyard.
What? I
We did a
remember
little trench.
digging a trench.
I did, but so we were there for a couple years until we saved up enough to get a building
that's
in
great.
downtown Kewanee, and
Wow.
we've been there since 2006. And so it's been great. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. So, I mean, aside from digging the trench, what other kind of memories do you have? I mean, it's got to be quite memorable growing up kind of building this business.
It really has been. I remember being like a 10-year-old behind the counter, like manning the register and like taking
Learning
people's
early.
orders. Yes.
That
I've been
is
a part
so
of it
sweet.
for my whole life.
Yeah, you part of it for your whole life. You've taken on a bigger role since then, I believe in 2019. So what is it like to just kind of continue on with that? You talk about manning a register when you're 10, and now look at you, you're still working alongside the family.
Yeah.
Talk about what that's been like.
It's been really awesome. I feel really lucky to have my parents that made the business happen for us.
Yeah.
I'm one of 3. And my brothers are off at college, but I wanted to stay around because I love people. I love my community, and so the fact that I get to be a part of it and I get to continue the legacy is awesome. I'm so happy to do it.
I love
but-
hearing that.
It's incredible. You know, especially because I'm sure you make so many relationships starting working there at 10 years old. that
Yeah,
you
there's
continue
people.
that on.
Yeah, there's people that have been coming in since before we were even at our location.
Okay.
There's people getting coffee that we still have as customers.
That's so cool.
All right, so we're looking at photos of the coffee shop there in Kewanee downtown, like you mentioned.
It's a great building.
Obviously,
Thank you.
great building. The inside is obviously full of coffee, but you also serve food as well.
Yes, we do. We make homemade baked goods. One of our employees, Anna, she's been with us since 2020. And she's been just pumping out the baked goods. They're so amazing.
Really?
We got fresh stuff every day. It is just to die for.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw a bagel. I'm a big
Can't
bagel.
go wrong with a bagel, yeah.
I am a big bagel. Like, I just love them so much. So that's something that you guys have there, along
Yeah.
with kind of like the sweeter items.
Yes.
Very cool. And lots of store shelves. So people, just like the coffee that you brought in today, people
Yeah.
can pick it up themselves and they can make it from home as
Yes.
well. Okay, so talk a little bit about the coffee part. I want to talk about what we're drinking here. This is very good. What is this?
This is pistachio butter. This is one of our newer flavors this
Pistachio
season.
butter.
I think we released it over the spring. Pistachio was really picking up in our lattes.
Yeah.
And so we were like, let's just try it. Let's just try it in the flavored coffee.
Yeah.
And we tried it and like, oh my God, like we cannot keep this on the shelf.
Really?
We had to bring
I
it
feel
into
lucky.
It's
the
really
stores.
good, yeah.
Thank you.
It's really good, yeah.
We had to bring it into Hy-Vee to sell it out of there. And we do a lot of sales online as well. So we ship this coffee all over the country. And so,
Incredible.
yes.
Do you really?
Yes, we do.
What an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cool.
truly, what is it like to talk to your parents about, you know, how I mean, I know
Yeah.
it must be incredible for you, of course, but
Yeah.
I mean, something that they just like picked up and moved and started, and now to
Yeah.
see it, they must be really proud.
Yeah, it's surreal. It is a lot of proudness, a lot of pride.
Yeah.
But yeah,
very
it's
cool.
really cool to be able to continue the legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, we got the pistachio butter right here, but we're talking more than 100 flavors of
Yes.
coffee.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we have different seasons. We release different stuff for different seasons.
Okay.
So we've got this as the spring stuff. So it'll take a step back, and we'll bring out the fall stuff
Sure.
soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a rotating selection of flavors. A lot of Christmas stuff
Yeah.
too.
A lot of
It-
Christmas stuff.
Ridiculous
Yeah.
amount of Christmas stuff.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
People love their flavored Christmas coffees, that's for sure. So, I mean, we're talking, you know, obviously you roast your own coffee flavors. So what sets your coffee
Yeah.
apart from other coffees? Because, I mean, coffee, I feel like, is a pretty hot business right now.
It really is. So what would set us
No
apart?
pun intended. No pun intended.
Oh, God.
Hot or ice business, yeah,
Hey,
whatever. But no pun intended. I think I got it right when you did. Coffee jokes, love it.
Yes. So what sets us apart is, you know, we have all these 100 different flavors, but a lot of bigger companies, they use, you know, like crazy long list of ingredients
Sure,
for their
yeah.
flavor agents.
Okay.
And we use stuff that is solvent free. It's the cleanest possible flavoring additive we can get to make these coffees taste delicious without like putting your health at risk. And also we are just a small family business. Like
Yeah.
I'm the one who roasts all the coffee, and then
Are
you
you
know we
really?
have a team that bags the coffee and packages it, and then my dad actually is the one who delivers it everywhere. And so it's just a smaller operation, and that's
Yeah.
really what sets us apart, I think. think, is just the
that attention to
the nature,
detail
yeah.
and the care that you put into everything.
Yes.
And when you're deciding, I mean, what blends to offer, how do you do that? Even like similar to when we were talking with Annika about the ice creams and all the different options and choices you have available to you. Do you guys like talk about that together when you're going to offer something new, or how do you do that?
Yeah, it's kind of a mix. Like we do an initial like talk within our team, and then we'll create a couple options and taste the different ones. So love ratios, right? And then after that, we have in our cafe, we have like a sample shelf, like from sample bags. I didn't bring any today. That's one thing I forgot.
That's okay.
But they're little like 2-ounce bags.
Okay.
They brew a single pot of coffee. We just kind of sell them in stores right now. There's a couple other people that have these, but this is like the way that we test it. Is we put them in little sample bags, and we have people buy them, and they let us know what they like and what they don't.
I mean, instant feedback.
Yes,
You gotta
literally.
love that,
Some of them don't move, and some of them move like crazy, like the pistachio butter, and then we make big bags.
Yeah, the pistachio butter is very good. So you notice the rooster here. It might look familiar because you're in Hy-Vee stores right now.
Yes.
Fairway stores in Geneseo, but you're also in other cafes who picked up your coffee, as well as different trucks and coffee trucks that have these as well. So what's that been like, kind of transitioning into that along with your storefront there in Kewaunee?
It's been really awesome. Over the years, we've done a lot of like wholesale to different businesses with the intention of them serving it. And so right now we've just got a few locally. We have Cran's Cafe in Bishop Hill. We've got the Element in Washington, Illinois. That's in the Peoria area. Those are just a couple examples. Oh, and the Old Bank in Galva. Those are just a few cafe examples of who serves our coffee.
And on top of that, I mean, and I think we already touched on this briefly, but people can order coffee from you online. Your website is great. I was on it earlier today. It's very user-friendly and easy to do. What is it like kind of seeing people purchase your coffee that may be living states and states away?
It's so surreal. It's so cool. It is a really like deeply warming feeling of like, just like there's people out there that like want to support our business and they do on a regular basis.
And they're enjoying it.
Yes. Yeah. We have a lot of repeat customers.
That's great.
It's really amazing.
Yeah.
At a good pace.
So what does the future hold? I mean, growing bigger and better, right?
Yeah, that's the idea. So we'd like to expand our delivery routes.
Sure.
We just kind of do the Peoria and the Quad City area right now. Maybe we'd like to go to the Springfield area or maybe north to like the Ottawa and LaSalle area. But we're in the process right now of looking and reaching out to different stores. Hy-Vee's, a lot of Hy-Vee's, but a lot of other grocery stores and other cafes too, just to try to get our coffee in as many places as possible.
I love that.
All starting from the garage. Love that story. Well, the Country Morning Coffee Cafe and Roasting Shop is located on 1st Street in Kewaunee. It's open every day of the week. And as we mentioned, you can also order coffee online by visiting their website, countrymorningcoffee.com. And of course, we'll have all this info on our website as well. August, thank you so much for sharing your story, and thank you so much for the coffee.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And still to come on QCL, we are taking a closer look at what you can find at Kitchen Sink Antiques in LeClaire, where nostalgia meets whimsy and every corner holds a new surprise.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
If you love quirky treasures, vintage vibes, and a little bit of mystery, you're in for a treat. Kitchen Sink Antiques is a one-of-a-kind shop packed with everything from vinyl records to actual kitchen sinks. Laura Duncan is the creative mind behind this business, and she is back with us today on QCL. Laura, thanks for being here.
Yes, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course, I'm looking forward to chatting with you. You've got just a beautiful space there right off of Cody Road in LeClaire. You can see it from the street up on the hill. Let's talk about the business itself, specifically the title, the name of the business, because it's a really fun play on words.
Right.
Where did this come from?
Well, I had the name before I had the shop.
Okay.
I thought if I ever opened a shop, I'm going to call it Kitchen Sink Antiques because I love kitschy stuff.
Kitschy, yes.
A lot of mid-century things are kitschy.
Yes.
And my definition of kitsch is things that are sickeningly sweet or sappy, like the puppy dogs crying.
Sure.
Or things that are gaudy and ugly, but you love them.
But you love them.
Here's my example of kitsch.
Okay. We'll hold it up here.
He's kind of goofy and funny, but
he's the sad-eyed mule.
Yes,
he's a sad-eyed mule. Sam is what he is called, and he is Sad Sam. So yeah, this is a good example of the
kitsch.
type of stuff that you're talking about. So when we say kitchen sink, it's kind of like a double meaning type of thing,
Yes.
because it's not spelled like kitchen sink. It's spelled like kitschy, which is what you've just been describing. So very cool.
Right.
But along with that, you do have kitchen sinks on your property.
I do, and I have, in fact, 9 of them, toys and real ones,
Okay.
on display and or in the garden. And I love it when kids come in and I give them a challenge, like,
It's like a scavenger hunt.
yes, if you can find all 9 kitchen sinks, you win a prize.
You do.
Or if you can dial the rotary phone.
That's the best
That
thing
is-
that I've heard. That is hilarious.
It is, it's funny.
I don't even think my daughter could dial a landline, let alone like a rotary phone. What is that, Mommy?
Right. Well, it is fun. It's fun to watch them try, and they're usually really good sports. But we have a lot of funny fails.
This is cute. Well, we're watching a video of
Oh, good.
somebody trying to complete that challenge right now on,
They
on
don't
the rotary
think
phone.
to put their finger in the hole.
No, they don't. They're like, what is this? This is adorable. Okay, so you brought some items with you
Yes.
here today. So let's talk about a few of them. We saw Sad Sam already.
Yes.
But these are some of the smaller items that you can find in store. We talked about vinyl records. That's a big one for people. Like, those are not becoming unpopular at all.
Not at all.
We are
I
collecting
sell more
vinyl.
records than anything else, and I always have since I started
Wow.
antiquing
That's great.
over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not a new thing, but the price has gone up. So
Yeah.
that's always good.
Yeah. Okay, and you also have some very, when people think of antiques, you have like that kind of definition antique
Yes.
item.
I have the rustiques, the rusty tools, the primitives, the
Yeah.
garden decor.
Wow.
Old
This
cameras
is
are
awesome.
popular, and I have quite a few of those.
Yeah.
Other things that are hot sellers, figurines.
Really?
Chickens, owls are hot right now. They were hot in the 70s and they're really popular again. Frogs, turtles, mice, minis. People really like
Those teeny
the
little minis.
tiny whatever minis, yes.
Yeah, my daughter collects those.
Cast iron pots and pans are very popular, and as well as trivets.
Okay.
Figurines, especially if they're Lefton or certain brand names.
Okay.
The little girly figurines are still
And people
popular.
will recognize that immediately if they're
Yes,
collectors.
yes,
So
they-
they'll come in and they'll
ask
be like,
for,
looking.
do you have any Lefton, or do you have
any
any Joseph Original or whatever? And we have things that appeal to all ages, and male, female. Guys still like the old trucks, the advertising items,
Yeah.
belt buckles. And I always have a mystery item
Okay.
to stump people.
Okay.
And a lot of times I'm stumped, and sometimes the customer educates me
Oh, they do?
on what things are all
Okay.
the time.
What is that?
That is a little dime bank.
Oh,
put-
I thought you were gonna make me guess, and I was gonna say like a whistle or something.
I've had that guess. I've
Okay.
had people say a whistle or a tea strainer.
Yeah.
I
That's
had-
great.
I had to Google it.
Okay, so where do you find your items? This is something I'm always curious about. Is like where does this all come from?
Well, sales, auctions, live and online auctions,
Yeah.
garage sales, and sometimes it just walks in the door.
That's awesome.
People bring
Still
stuff
bring
in
stuff
to
to
sell
you.
to me. Yes.
That is super cool. And then, so you brought this with you here today. This is a nice gaudy piece.
Yes.
This is a hookah, right?
It is, yes. Like Alice in Wonderland, Cheshire Cat
Yeah.
type of hookah.
Can you imagine just having something like that in your house? Just an antique
And it's from India. Yeah.
hookah from India. So you truly, you do. You have it all.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Including,
The kitchen sink.
yes.
I'm glad I remembered to say that, including the kitchen sink. Duh, Morgan. That is very cool. So these are some of the smaller items that you brought in with you today. Of course, you have so much in store that you couldn't possibly bring, which is why we showed the
Right.
photos here today. So we really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Kitchen Sink Antiques. It's located, as we mentioned early on Cody Road in LeClaire. Truly, you cannot miss it if you're coming into town. We have the phone number on your screen along with that address, and the Facebook page. You're definitely going to want to give them a follow because you are constantly posting when you get something new or cool photos of what you have around the store.
Yes.
This is a great way for people to keep an eye on it. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, well, thank you so much, Laura, for being
Thank
here
you.
today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Yes,
me.
Thank you. Still to
Enjoyed
come in our second half hour, Friday nights in LeClaire. Speaking of, they're about to get a whole lot tastier with the debut of the brand new Farmers Market. We'll get details on that. And speaking of tasty, we'll meet the baker behind Mix Gluten-Free Baking Co., who's proving that delicious desserts can still be on the menu, no gluten required.
And it is never too early to start thinking about the weekend. We'll see how it's shaping up coming up in your full First Alert forecast in the next half hour of Quad Cities Live.
Accurate and reliable. This is your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Keel.
Well, for about 80 to 90% of us, it's been a mainly dry afternoon after a few morning showers this morning. But Everywhere Camera Network does show a mix of clouds and sunshine, showing that the atmosphere is a little chaotic. Obviously, we have a lot of humidity out there. Some of us have, or most of us rather, have been held back into the 80s today, but still plenty humid out there. And that's going to lead to off and on shower and storm chances here, not only this evening, but as we head into the overnight as well. And we'll have another threat here for some storms as we head into the day on Wednesday, but more dry hours than none. So we'll have temperatures getting in the low 90s once again here heading into Wednesday. So right now, First Alert Live Doppler radar tracking a couple of batches of showers, even a thunderstorm that popped up probably about a half hour ago between Bishop Hill and Galva, moving through Kewanee, heading off to the north toward Neponset and Mineral. A few lightning strikes with that over the last several minutes. So that storm is continuing to track off to the northeast into Bureau County, so heavy rainfall associated with that. And we have some pockets of heavier rain just north of Preston, just moving through Andrew, Iowa, heading off to the east-northeast, so heads up Bellevue over toward Woodbine, perhaps Galena, getting in on some of that rain here within the next half hour or 45 minutes. This is all part of a stationary boundary that's pretty much draped across the area. This is not moving much, so our weather pattern is going to remain pretty consistent here as we head over the next couple of days, keeping that humidity in place and eventually bringing back the 90s as well. So we've got the threat for maybe a few stronger storms. Level 1 risk of severe weather exists here heading through the overnight hours, and this is going to continue as we head into the day on Wednesday as well as Thursday. No First Alert days as far as storm activity goes, just because widespread severe weather is not anticipated, but some of these storms could get a little on the gusty side, producing 60-mile-per-hour winds. So that's obviously something that we're going to monitor here as we head over the next couple of days. So Exact Track here shows, again, just scattered activity here as we head into the evening hours. Could get a few more storms that roll through here as we head after 9 or 10 o'clock this evening. And again, they're going to contain some very heavy rainfall. That will continue here through the overnight and even into early parts of your Wednesday morning, especially north of the Quad Cities. Still a lot of dry hours here through the day on Wednesday, but once we kind of bubble up the atmosphere, get a little more energy, could see a few more scattered showers and storms as we head into tomorrow afternoon. And then it's tomorrow night that we'll see a little lull in the activity with lots of sunshine Thursday. Notice those southwest winds pick up once again. Thursday, we're back to the low to mid 90s, so we've issued a First Alert day because factor in those dew points in the 70s. We're talking the heat index once again between 100 and 105. So again, any storms that do develop will contain some heavy rainfall. A lot of areas could get upwards of a ½ inch to maybe an inch. Notice that bullseye of heavier rain, probably not 4 to 6 inches there in Cedar Rapids, but you get the idea. It's off to the north, so we really need to watch the Cedar River for some local rises. The humidity, it's not going anywhere. Muggy meter shows dew points into the 70s, not only for the rest of the week, but heading into the weekend as well. So that's going to keep daily chances for showers and storms in the forecast. Again, most of these are not going to be, or all of these will not be all-day events. It does look like we'll have more dry hours than not here Saturday and Sunday. In fact, we've got the First Alert forecast dry, but we'll have to watch for maybe some strong storms here Thursday evening after we have that First Alert day for the heat and humidity.
Coming up on QCL, fresh flavors, live music, and a whole lot of local charm. LeClaire is launching its brand new farmers market, and opening night is this week. We'll learn more next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Fresh produce, live music, food trucks, and local vendors. This Friday marks the grand opening of the brand new LeClaire Farmers Market, making its debut outside City Hall. Here to tell us all about opening night and what we can expect for the rest of the season is Greg Ludwig from LeClaire Parks and Recreation. Greg, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, this is a really exciting week for you guys.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. This coming Friday, our first farmers market.
Your first one, that's very cool. So talk a little bit about what inspired the creation of a farmers market. Why do you feel like you know, you and your team, right now is the time to do that?
Well, we've been looking at bringing actually back a farmer's market. LeClaire had one a couple years ago before my time with the city. And there's always been rumblings of when are we getting a farmer's market back?
Yeah.
So we started building up a process and finding a place to put it. And it just happened that this felt like the right time with a new city plaza opening between City Hall and the library.
That's right. And so work has been going on with that. It looks fabulous. So this is kind of a really good way for you guys to also kind of unveil that new space. So folks will have the opportunity to attend this farmer's market. It's once a month?
Correct. It's the fourth Friday of the month,
Okay.
so you don't have to make a big commitment. You can catch the next one if you want. They run from 5 to 8 with live music from 6 to 8 out at, like I said, the plaza out there.
Yeah, okay, so I love that you have all decided to do this not only on a Friday, but a Friday evening from 5 to 8 p.m. So talk a little bit about, you know, why you guys decided to do it that way, because it's unique to be able to attend a farmer's market in those evening hours.
Yeah, well, like we discussed earlier between ourselves here, we have Food Truck Fridays going on in LeClaire, and we
Yes.
wanted to extend our downtown a little bit and, you know, bring the fun up the street. So we'll have live music. We actually have our food truck ourselves, and we kind of want to make it like a party with a farmer's market where you can get microgreens and then
Yeah.
listen to some music on some benches.
Yes, absolutely. Like there's totally room for everybody, all the vendors and all the markets, and I think our communities do such a good job of that. So it's awesome that LeClaire has decided to do it, I think, on a Friday evening and really kick off the weekend in a fun way. So when you talk about the entertainment, you talk about live music, you guys have partnered with Common Chord for this.
Common Chord, yeah, they're coming out. They're bringing 5 different musicians for each farmer's market.
That's great.
And they're going to be running, I said, from 6 to 8, and they're just going to surprise us with different varieties of music, keep the party going all night.
Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, so let's talk about the vendors. Roughly how many vendors can we expect to see at each of these farmers markets?
We'll have 12 vendors. They'll be the same vendors every week,
Okay.
with some changes just depending on availability and things like that.
Okay.
We'll have a food truck out there. We'll have a non-alcoholic drink truck. But like I said, produce, baked goods, candles, honey, maple syrup, things you find at a farmer's market.
Yeah.
On
Well,
Friday
we're
night.
seeing some images right now. So I know you all have a Facebook page, the LeClaire Farmers Market does specifically, and you guys have been posting some of the different vendors and kind of hyping them up a little bit before we get started, so people know what to find and what to expect. So some really great stuff. How did you guys make a selection and choose the vendors that are going to be a part of this first season?
Well, we had a subcommittee, so we went through all the applications and we kind of had to be exclusive with it because it's in a parking lot actually, so we don't have a huge amount of space.
Yeah.
But one thing that we really wanted to focus on was keeping the food and products local. So
Yeah.
we focused on keeping it with any products in the 30-mile radius.
Okay.
So nothing outside that, then you can count on it being local when you purchase, you know, your honey, your microgreens, or things like that.
Yeah, and that was something that was very important to all of you. I think it's important too to people who frequent farmers markets, for people who are purchasing your items. I think that local aspect is super important.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a Georgia peach, you can go to Hy-Vee, but if you want, you know, some sweet corn or things like that when it's in season, you can come to any farmer's market and know
Yeah.
that it's going to be local.
Oh, that's very cool. So any vendors that you're particularly excited about or excited for folks to check
I'm
out?
always a sucker for some honey and maple syrup, so probably those two, but I mean, I'll do my vegetable shopping there and
Yeah.
maybe get a candle or two. There you go.
Yeah, so this seems like it could really become a fun monthly tradition. It's going to be a monthly tradition all the way through October, correct?
Correct.
So do you see this as something that you will continue year after this year? Or
Yeah.
what are you looking for?
Like you said, year after year, once we close up the application process, that we had some vendors reach out that we're hoping to get in.
Oh, good.
So we're gonna keep building up, and you know, hopefully we'll have a good problem on our hands where we won't have enough room
Yeah.
for all the vendors. Then we'll have to potentially move it somewhere else. But for now, we're just excited to keep it
get
exclusive
started.
and yep, like you said, kick it off.
Wonderful. Okay, so before we let you go, anything that anybody should know before they head out to the farmers market this Friday?
Well, like any farmer's market, sometimes the vendors don't have credit cards, so just bring some cash and keep
That's
that
a
in
good
mind.
tip.
Yeah, exactly. Just when you go to any farmer's market, bring some cash along.
Just in case.
Yeah, they're skilled at growing produce, but sometimes they don't have
They
the
don't have
square
the credit
swipe
card.
or whatever.
Exactly. That's great. So bring your cash with you. Have a good time. It seems like there's always something fun going on in LeClaire, and this is just fits right in with all of that. Here's the information on your screen. The debut of the LeClaire Farmers Market is set for this Friday, June 27th from 5 to 8 p.m. After that, again, it is the fourth Friday of each month through October. You can find the fun at LeClaire City Plaza between City Hall and the Public Library. Greg, great job, and thank you so much for coming on the show and chatting with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
we see you around on Friday.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Well, from farmers market finds to cookies, cakes, and treats for our gluten-free friends. Up next, we are talking to the founder of Mix Gluten-Free Baking Co., who turned a personal health journey into a delicious mission.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Well, if you think gluten-free means giving up delicious baked goods, you're going to want to think again.
Yes, our next guest turned a personal diagnosis into a passion and a business. Mackenzie Neslin is the owner and baker behind Mix Gluten-Free Baking Co., and she joins us in the studio now. Mackenzie, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we've
thanks
just
for
had
coming in.
such a fun day today,
We have,
full of
yeah.
all kinds of treats and coffee, but this looks incredible. You
Thank
brought
you.
all
It does,
kinds
yes.
of goodies. So let's just start with a little bit about you
Yeah.
and your story. Talk about what inspired you to start your own business.
Yeah, so it's been a journey. In 2011, I was diagnosed with celiac disease after about 18 months of trial and error trying to figure
gosh.
out what's going
Wow.
on. Yeah, and so when I was 20, I spent a lot of time crying in grocery stores trying to figure out what I could
Sure,
eat.
yeah.
And that was back in the day where data plans weren't unlimited. So you got to make sure you Google well and you search history's good. And so over the years, I have just wanted to live as normal a life as I
Sure.
could. And so my mom and my mom's a huge inspiration to me. And she's like, we're gonna make a good cookie. Because at the time there was no good cookie.
Sure, yeah.
And so through her passion of trying to make good stuff and bake good stuff and teaching me along the way, about 3 years ago I decided to bring this to the Freight House Farmers Market and bring
Yeah.
it to the public because I wanted one cookie. That's all it was. I just wanted one cookie on a Tuesday on my drive home.
Yeah.
And there's really no place in the Quad Cities that you can just
Right.
get one gluten-free cookie.
Yeah.
You know, not everyone wants to buy all the ingredients or bake it or make it.
Yeah.
And so I give the people opportunities to get their one cookie, but on a Saturday from 8 to 1 at the Freight House Farmers Market.
Yeah.
And so you can get individual size. I sell everything as a individual, so you can
Okay.
kind of make your own like
Oh.
kind of charcuterie board of sorts of desserts,
love
so you
that.
can
Well, yeah, we gotta
sample
do
and
that.
taste along the way. And so that is what kind of led me there, was just wanting a good cookie.
I
and-
love your story.
Yeah.
It
and
started
so-
with one cookie, and now we have
yeah,
this.
Now we
yeah.
have all of this.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so that's what, 3 years ago, I look back and I'm just like, wow, like we've come so far. You can always catch my husband and I at the farmer's market. He is my employee of the year. Shout out to him. And so we are there and we are just ready
People
to
can
serve the
find
people.
you.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, so talk about the process of your baking and how that changed as an adult. Like you said, you were 20 years old when
Yeah.
you got diagnosed. So, I mean, that's got to be a big lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people who are diagnosed with celiac, that's a pretty tough transition.
Yeah.
It is, and that's what, I kind of referred to crying in a grocery store because that was my real life, because it was tough because there's gluten in everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Things you don't even think of.
Yeah,
too.
people just think gluten is in food, but it's in shampoo, it's in toothpaste,
Oh
it's
my
in lotions.
gosh.
And so it takes a lot of trial and error and a lot of having a really great community around
Sure.
you to be able to build a really good life
Yes,
of
okay.
being gluten-free.
I want to talk about the stuff that you brought here today,
Everything,
because our
yes.
mouths are watering,
Yes,
as I'm
look at
sure
it.
everybody is. We'll start on this end. So you've got a
Yes.
couple of cookies here.
Yes, so everything I do has
Yum.
a baseline of gluten-free, and then we work our way up to either be vegan, dairy-free, or egg-free
perfect.
if that's
Okay.
something that you're needing. So, for example, this is my birthday funfetti cookie. This is gluten-free.
So pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my goal. It's got to look good.
Gotta look good.
This is going to be a vegan, gluten-free double chocolate chip cookie.
Okay.
And so every weekend at the Freight House Farmers Market, I bring 6 categories of food, and there's at least 9 vegan, gluten-free options. options for those who
Okay.
want it, need it,
Yeah.
are curious about it.
You.
Yeah, and my flavors change every week. It's the same 6 categories, excuse me, but the flavors do change.
Okay.
And so we have my mini cakes here. Like I said, I try to make everything as, individual size. Or if
Yeah.
you want to share, that's fine too.
You can always buy more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
right. That is always
You can
it.
always buy all 3.
Yeah, and so this is going to be a vegan, gluten-free double chocolate cake. We have a vanilla gluten-free chocolate chip cake, and then we have it's going to be a lemon cake with lemon frosting. So yeah, cakes are one of my categories. The next category is going to be mini loaves. I always have 2 vegan, gluten-free mini loaves as well as 2 other flavors.
Oh, sure.
And then part of my snack section, who doesn't like a nice strawberry rhubarb apple crisp?
Oh, yes.
love it.
Yes.
Love the rhubarb.
Yes. Who doesn't like the
Yes.
good rhubarb? As well as we have a cinnamon roll that
Yes.
I sell through so many of these cinnamon rolls. They
Oh, I bet.
are
People
a
love their
staple.
cinnamon
I just want to put my finger in
I
like
know.
every
It's so
chocolate
hard.
frosting.
every
Yeah.
frosting
You
and
make it
icing.
very appealing, that's
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Yeah,
really
sometimes
do.
when I take it out of the oven, I'm like, it's looking at me. Like, I can't help it. But I was
And
like, no,
she's
resist.
funny.
Yeah, we gotta
Yes.
resist. As well as we have a Reese's Blondie over there.
look at that.
Yes. I also do custom cakes. And so this is just an example of what
Yeah.
I can do here. And that's what, if you check out my social media pages at Mixed Gluten Free Baking,
Okay.
you can see my menus, what I offer, what I've
is
done in
so
the
great.
past. I always say I'm a more of a froster than a decorator, but I
Sure.
have like one style that I do decently.
We love it.
Yes.
So
you
that's
make
what
it
we
very
do.
appealing,
You
that
make
is
it-
for
that
sure.
is so good.
Yeah.
Well, the best way to keep in touch with Mackenzie and her business is by following her on Facebook, which we've got that right there, Mix GF Baking Co. And yeah, you can follow her on social media. She posts a lot of her cakes. I was telling her about her cakes, and
Yeah.
they look phenomenal. So,
really do.
Mackenzie, thank you so much. And of course, we'll find you down at the Freight House Farmers
Yeah.
Market.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
we
much for
appreciate you
joining
being
us
here
today. We
today.
appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, get the latest news and weather coming up next on your local news at 4.